Hey my beautiful people, it's your Empress Mahogany, and child, I hear the bigots are trying their hardest to try to keep us from getting the surgeries that we deserve to get. But are we going to take that? Hell nah. So today I'm going to be giving you my pro tips on how to get your gender reassignment surgery covered by your insurance company. So if you've been following my channel, then you know that I got my gender reassignment surgery about 2 years ago. So yes, I am 2 years post-op gender reassignment surgery, and I am so happy. It was like the best feeling in the world, being able to get this surgery that I've always dreamed about, and I want for you to be able to have that same feeling if that is your choice. Rewinding 2 years ago, when I got the news from my insurance company that they would cover my gender reassignment surgery, I was juiced. I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm finally going to be able to get the surgery that I've always wanted to get, right? But that was just the beginning, okay? I had no idea that I was going to have to go through everything that I went through at that time in order for me to see that dream come into manifestation. So long story short, I had to jump through hoops after hoops after hoops after hoops, child, in order for me to be able to get this and get it approved and have it paid for. And I mean, it was just so much. There were so many things that I learned that I didn't know. In this process, I had some amazing people that actually helped me. And so today I'm going to be paying it forward to y'all and giving y'all kind of like the tea on how to finagle, finesse the system so you can get this surgery too, because I feel like it's just going to become more and more difficult. So better that you know now so you can get in there like swimwear and you can get what you need to get. So before I get into the nitty-gritty of this video, I really want to share a little bit about my experience in getting my surgery covered to provide you with some context on why I felt like it was so important that I made this video for y'all. Rewind 2 years ago when I was going through the process of getting my surgery covered. Y'all, they took me through hell and back trying to get my surgery covered. I was jumping through hoops left and right like I was some type of lion in a circus. I got denied several times actually. I just kept appealing and I kept appealing and I kept providing documentation, and I kept calling them. I was on the phone with my insurance company probably at least sometimes twice, 3 times a day, trying to get the information, trying to get updates, being persistent and unwavering. Even sometimes I wanted to give up and I wanted to just be like, man, is this really worth it? But I didn't. So I'm here today, having gone through the experience, to really share with you like some ways to hopefully duck and dodge some of the bullets that they're going to be throwing at you, and to help you have a better process in getting your surgery done. I really hope that y'all don't have to go through half of what I went through. So in giving you these tips, it's also coming from my experience. And again, I hope that you don't have to go through even a portion of what I went through. But in case you do, you're going to be prepared because your girl's got you. And I'm going to give you all the deets about how to maneuver through this insurance world. So this very first step is probably one of the most important steps, if not the most important step, and that is to know your terminology. You want to know the language that these insurance companies are going to be speaking to you, and the language that they're going to expect from you in return. Probably going to be using some terms that you don't identify with, a bunch of medical jargon that you're going to be like, I don't want to hear that. But you're really going to need to learn these terms and really ingrain them in the front cortex of your brain, because you're going to be needing to use these throughout your process. So terms like medically necessary, vaginoplasty, phalloplasty, gender dysphoria. Depending on your situation, you're probably going to be hearing a lot of those terms repeatedly. So when you're having correspondence with these insurance companies, You want to make sure that you're matching their language because it's really going to make it that much less difficult for you to be able to navigate through this whole system. And you know, again, they're going to be using a lot of medical terminology that you probably won't identify with and that you would probably never use to label yourself. But you know, keep in mind in this process, you're really going to need to kind of put your feelings aside, your personal feelings about yourself, which leads me into step number 2, contacting your insurance company, right? So how you do that is, you know, depending on what insurance company that you have, whether that's Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Kaiser, they provide you an insurance card that has a list of numbers on the back. And the number that you're going to want to call is the member services department. What do you do when you contact them? What do you say? Don't you worry, Empress Mahogany is going to tell you. So when you get this person on the phone, whoever this might be, I would say the very first thing that you want to ask for is a patient advocate. If you can get a patient advocate, this process is probably going to be so much smoother for you. I actually was assigned a patient advocate in the beginning of my journey, but then I had to switch insurance companies. The insurance company that I switched to, unfortunately, did not provide any of their patients patient advocates, at least to my knowledge. I could have been lied to, I don't know, but I wasn't able to have a patient advocate. So I had to do a lot of the hard work myself. But if you can get a patient advocate, child, you could probably skip through to the end of this video. If you can get assigned a patient advocate, it's just going to make this whole process that much easier for you and a lot less stressful. But if you can't, it's okay. I'm going to be a patient advocate. I'm going to tell you how to get these things covered, right? When you make this initial phone call, there's really only a few main questions that you need to get answered. One of which is what your coverages are. You want to know what your specific coverage is for gender reassignment surgery. The second question that you want to get answered is the requirements for pre-authorization. What this basically means is there are a list of requirements that your insurance company requires before they will authorize for you to have your surgery. Depending on your insurance company, they will usually require for you to have several different letters from different doctors. One of those letters will be from your doctor that prescribes your hormone. Another letter that they will probably ask you for is a letter from a licensed therapist saying that yes, this person does indeed have gender dysphoria, and I recommend that they have gender reassignment surgery in order to rectify this. Again, we have to set our personal feelings aside, you know, because the way I see it is you don't need anybody to tell you that you need to get gender reassignment surgery. You don't need a doctor to prescribe you anything. But this is going to be their terminology, and this is how they want to see things on paper in order for them to justify approving you for your surgery. Step number 3 is to find out which doctors are actually in your network. There are doctors who have agreements with insurance companies to be able to offer a certain amount of services for a set price. And this is decided based off of the contract that they have with the insurance company. There's a lot that I can get into, y'all, about this because I had a lot of experience actually with my surgeon becoming in network with my insurance company. But for the sake of time, I'm just gonna say make sure that your doctor that you want is in network, because that's gonna make it a lot easier. You're gonna be able to have the full extent of your coverage if your doctor is in network. So that part is very crucial. But even if they're not in network, you can ask for something called a out-of-network exception. And what an out-of-network exception is basically saying that there are no doctors within a certain mile radius who can perform this surgery well. You have to prove that there are no doctors within your network that can competently provide you this service. I'll talk more about that in another video if you would like. Just drop a comment below and I will get into more detail. But for the sake of time and for people who may not have to worry about this, I'm not gonna talk a lot about it in this video. Step number 4, document, document, document. When you are on and off the phone, email corresponding, whatever it is, however you're communicating with your insurance company, you want to make sure that you are properly documenting your conversations. When I was going through my process, I would literally pull up my notes app on my phone and I would put the date and whoever I was speaking to at the time, I would put their name, their title, and kind of like some notes about what we talked about on that phone conversation. I would do this literally, y'all, with like every phone conversation that I had, because a lot of the time you're not going to speak to the same representative. You're going to get different representative. And so you want to make sure that you have notes from your conversations with these individuals with names so you can hold them accountable, because they might tell you that they're going to do something on your behalf, but then they don't do it. And so what does that mean? That means that there's another day that's going to be delayed on you being able to get authorized for your surgery because somebody decided they didn't want to do their job. We're not playing that. We're going to hold people accountable, and you're going to get the information that you need from them in order to be able to relay that to the next representative that you talk to. Y'all, when I'm telling you, this step is so crucial, because there were several times that I would talk to a representative and they would tell me that they were going to do something for me, and just to end up not doing it. And so the only way that I could actually hold them accountable is to be able to say like, hey, like these were the notes that I had from this person when I had this conversation on this day. So important that you document everything. Also, when you're speaking to these representatives, make sure that they are notating your file after every conversation. You shouldn't have to ask them to do this. You might be dealing with some, not so seasoned representatives, some people that are not so great at their job. And so you want to make sure that, you're kind of coaching them along to help you out. Right? So make sure that they notate your file after every conversation, and make sure that you are following up with them after those conversations as well. Okay? My fifth and final step is to be persistent. Be persistent. Make sure that you are following up with all the representatives that you end up talking to, your surgeon's office, hormone provider, whoever it is. Make sure that you're following up with them, that they're actually doing what they have promised that they're going to do for you. This also ties into step number 3, where I was telling you to document everything. You want to make sure that you're following up with everybody that you speak with to make sure that they are doing what they say that they're going to do for you. The way that these insurance companies are set up, unfortunately, is to be shady AF, okay? And they're going to try to do everything in their power to pay as less money as possible. Regardless to what it says that's covered in your policy, these insurance companies' objective is to pay as less as possible on your claim as they can. That's just kind of how it is, y'all, unfortunately. They are going to try to weasel their way out of paying your claim and to getting you pre-authorized for your surgery. So you want to make sure that you're holding them accountable and that you're being persistent with your communication. Don't give up. There are going to be times, y'all, even for me, I was ready to throw in the towel, but I'm so glad that I didn't. And I'm so glad that I was persistent and that I stayed on their butts to do the things that they said they were going to do for me. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to be here today talking with y'all about how to go through this process. So just be persistent, be patient, but apply pressure. Constant pressure. And when I say apply pressure, I'm not telling y'all to get on the phone and be rude to these people, because remember, they're humans just like you are, and they may not be going through this experience, but they are, there to do a job. And for whatever reason that is, you're gonna want to be nice to them. You're gonna want to, kind of get on their good side, so you don't have to do as much following up and making sure that they're going to do the things that they say that they're going to do for you. Now, I was very lucky and very happy to actually get a few really good representatives that really advocated for me, and they really helped me, and they gave me, the tea on how to navigate this system. And so if you can get on one or two of their good sides, it's going to make your process that much more smooth. Okay, y'all, those are the steps. I've laid it out for you. I've laid the foundation, and now it is up to you to go out and get what you want. If there's anything that I didn't cover in this video that you have more questions about, feel free to drop a comment below or send me a personal DM and I will get those questions answered for you. No worries. I'm here to help you. I am your advocate. I am your girl. I'm going to help you get your surgery. If y'all enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you would hit the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of all my future content. I love y'all so much. I hope you have the most blessed week and that your cup be so full that it overfloweth to everyone that you meet. Peace.